Hey guys, I'm Dov, back again on the old patch with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer. We're here with the High Elves versus Pre-Malice Dark Elves. Gonna be having some fun today. I've brought the pretty princess up on her Star Dragon. We've got a couple of Reavers here. Let's quickly go into slow-mo because we're going to get the action right away. Got some Grey Eagles here. Just one Grey Eagle, actually. Looks like Spearmen. And then Lothar and Seaguard in the second line. A Life Mage on a Chariot. Noble on a Chariot. As for my opponent, Marathi up in the air. Slaanesh Harvesters. And, yeah, Dark Riders there. We've got 3 units of Cold One Knights. A couple of Dark Shards with shields. Blades of the Blood Queen. And some Dark Elf Militia. So, right off the bat, we're going to be getting a pitched engagement underway here. I don't mind taking this engagement with my Reavers too much, because I do have the Eagle nearby, and I'm also bringing the Star Dragon over, so if I can get them a little bit closer, I would like to, but my idea here is to get a really good engagement and try and clean up the Slaanesh Harvesters very quickly if I can. So you see the Reavers get in here. We're going to throw in the Eagle as well. Marathi drops down, though. It's going to actually toss in a Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer, I believe this is from Marathi, or it might actually be from the Slaanesh Harvesters. Looks like, yeah, not sure exactly who dropped it, but it's still going to do a lot of damage. You can see my Reavers get absolutely wrecked here, but we do come in with a nice Star Dragon Breath, and that bombardment from Marathi as well did quite a bit of friendly fire. That Grey Eagle took some damage. A second Soul Stealer now being dropped there. I believe that one is actually from the Doomfire Warlocks, as they are being healed a bit from that, but honestly, at the end of the day, that trade was probably about even in terms of cost. I'm going to dump a regrowth off on that Grey Eagle, try and make sure it stays on the battlefield here. But yeah, the reason I wanted to bring the princess is, as we know, missile damage buffs actually affect breaths, and she has this Dragonhorn item. It's only a one-time use, but it does give her 25% extra missile damage, so I'm going to be trying to use that on the breath attack at some point if I can. You can see Dark Elf Militia advancing up across the line here. We've got our 2 chariots up on the high ground, ready to run some shop on some of these skirmish units in the back line. Lothar and Seaguard shooting in here. Yeah, it looks like we're going to focus fire probably on those Dark Shards, even though they do have shields. Still should be able to get some good damage in from the crossfire, especially shooting in at the side here. Won't necessarily be subject to a missile block chance, but oh yeah. Blades of the Blood Queen, a beautiful drive-by, just gets the entire unit. The Life Mates there. For the High Elves, looking pretty good so far. Dark Elves are going to come up and try and turn the flank here, and I heard a Word of Pain go off. Looks like that is going to be on the Dragon Princess herself. This is a bit risky, regardless from Marathi, though, just because of her low health pool, but certainly that Word of Pain helps. 0 melee attack currently for the Princess. Soul Stealer also going down as well. I do bring in the Eagle, though, to try and get some additional assistance, and it looks like we're going to be grabbing Shield of Thorns also for some physical resistance. Yeah, and you can see Marathi, despite the Word of Pain there on the Princess, the Eagle comes in, does enough damage that Marathi is quite uncomfortable, and now we've got a good position. Marathi's right on the ground beneath us. You can see I popped that Dragon Horn, and oh, where'd she go? Here we go. Oh, there she is. Yeah, trust me, Marathi's in there somewhere, or at least she was until she just got absolutely melted. She is now currently a hunk of raw iron, because that was just an absolute insane amount of damage. And yeah, also did a lot to the Blades of the Blood Queen as well, and as you would expect, that is going to lead to pretty quick High Elf victory here. My opponent did a pretty good job, though, wrapping up this top flank here, doing a bit of damage to my caster, and also my Noble is having to kind of be used to stop up these Cold One Knights as well. But even though my front line might be taking a little bit of damage, Spearmen have gotten rounded off. Lothar and Seaguard will be able to hold in the second line for enough time, and certainly these Cold One Knights, while they will get some damage in, it's going to be a tough time. Another Shield of Thorns just to make sure we get plenty of physical resistance on these various units. And yeah, you can see the Cold One Knights immediately getting almost, well, not quite immediately, but almost immediately getting terrified away. Those Blades of the Blood Queen will continue to fight for some time, but the rest of these Dark Elf units are going to be pretty prone to routing quite easily. Dark Shards are firing in, and are getting some good damage in on the Princess. Unfortunately, there's just not really enough unit models left there. And yeah, just in general, too few Dark Elf units to really make a difference in this late game. Those Blades of the Blood Queen are going to try their best, though. Get in here, clean up some more of those Lothar and Seaguard. The Dragon fighting some of these Spearmen and these Cold One Knights on the ground. Coldwell Knights, obviously, with their anti-large AP, will do decently against the dragon, but the dragon's just going to be a little bit too much there, especially with the noble still running around here on his chariot. The Lothran Seaguard providing little hits with their spears here and there as well, so yep, opponent's going to go ahead and throw in the Tal there, and that will be victory for the High Elves. Pretty fun build. I think it's a little bit dangerous to something like a Witch Elf and Sister of Slaughter Rush, potentially, but I do like using the Star Dragon Princess. I do need to mess around a little bit more with that missile damage buff, and I mean, obviously, potentially, you're better off taking Techless with an unmounted Star Dragon so that he can then use Kindle Flame, and Flaming Sword of Ruin also does increase missile damage as well, so you can get some synergy there potentially. But the princess, you know, she has her own way of not necessarily getting Kindle Flame, but at least getting some extra damage, certainly from that breath attack on at least one of them. So pretty fun stuff. Eagle helping to take out Marathi was very key there. Used to hate Great Eagles, but I am a fan of them nowadays. The rest did pretty decently. Lothran Seaguard, more or less what you would expect. Reavers, same thing, just kind of holding up the line there. Noble and Life Mage providing some anti-infantry also. For my opponent's side, lacking Terror is pretty rough in this matchup, and likewise, taking Marathi up in the air is potentially extremely risky against the High Elves. I think you're much better off to go with the Ground Lord. There's a lot of back and forth in this matchup, certainly. A lot of different ways you can go, but Blades of the Blood Queen almost always going to be a solid option here. Silencious Harvesters are good in pretty much every build as well. You just need to be a little careful with them. My opponent played reasonably well with them here, but I was able to kind of force him into an awkward situation there. So sit tight, don't worry. I've got one more replay to show you. So, you know, let's just get straight to it rather than editing through. Since I've just got two for you today, we're just going to get straight into it, and you can see I do indeed have Lizardmen up against Warriors of Chaos, so should be in for a good time. We're definitely going to try and monster mash. As you can see, we've got Shaggoth, double Shaggoth on the other side with Mazdamundi plus a Dread Saurian for the Lizardmen, and of course we've also got the Star Chamber Guardians, cohort of Sotek, and some Skink cohort with Jazz. I've also got two Skink Chiefs on foot. These guys are just here for some additional poke, and also for some cold-blooded if need be, just for the extra leadership. Also got 2 units of Razordon hunting packs to contest the mobility skirmish game. My opponent likewise has 2 Marauder Horsemen, some Marauders up front, likewise Manticore, like we said, to Shaggoths. He's got a Metal Sorcerer, so yeah, not really too much to it. Let's just get the monster boxing underway, and you can see yeah, Mazdamundi and the Dread Saurian immediately going to be ganging up on Kolek, and of course, I'm going to be using Harmonic Convergence on that Dread Saurian, putting it up to 81 melee attack, 64 melee defense. You can see Kolek is already taking a beating. That being said, the second Shaggoth comes in, and we are going to get Final Transmutation. Yeah, it looks like Overcast Final Transmutation on the Temple Guard, in fact. Unfortunately, didn't actually hit Mazdamundi or the Dread Saurian very effectively. It is going to sort of minorly hit them, but obviously Shield of the Old Ones helping to mitigate some of that damage as well. If we look over here, the Razordon Hunting Packs having a skirmish fight with the Javelins, and the Hunting Packs will absolutely win this fight. No hands, yeah, no, hands down, pretty easily. Going to be throwing Ruination of Cities here as well. Does hit some of my own troops, but hits quite a few of those Chaos troops as well. But let's keep it close in this Monster Mash, as we've got some Trolls supporting for the Warriors of Chaos, the double Shaggoth, and just all of the madness. I'm going to be spamming Apotheosis and Harmonic Convergence on either target as much as I can, just whoever's taking more damage. Looks like we're going to be seeing something from Kolek. Yep, Kolek's Lightning Strike there. You can see Kolek and the Shaggoth both taking quite a bit of damage, just getting both hit by both these monsters. In fact, all 4 of the monsters, to be honest, are taking damage, as are the supporting halberds. So quite the mess at this point, but Skink's holding off Marauders on the side. Here I'm going to get a really nice little rear charge, just switching targets with these cohort of Sotek here. They are going to get hit by a nice Lightning Strike, though, or sorry, Searing Doom, rather, from the Lore of Metal. So that was a little bit rough. Did take quite a bit of damage there, but thankfully Kolek has been routed off at this point, and the Shaggoth also just not doing too hot. The fact that I have healing and Harmonic Convergence here has really made the difference for me, and you can see that Apotheosis, yeah, if we have a look at the healing cap from Mazdamundi, you can see I've healed already about 1,000 HP from just those consistent apotheosis, I don't know. Anyway, Razordon's now getting in here, going to be opening up on that Man's Core and on the Marauder Horseman as well. I'm actually kind of happy with where Razordons are at. Since they've been buffed in the last patch, they actually are reasonably decent, especially shooting at like armored infantry or big armored enemy units like monsters and stuff. You can see the trolls get in here. They try and get a little bit of damage done. They're going to get terrified away. Likewise, the Man's Core, again, getting good damage on Mazdamundi, but the fact that he just can't get enough burst all at once, I'm able to continue to get those apotheoses, I don't know. And yeah, here the Chaos Sorcerer is going to feel the wrath of the Razordon, and look at that damage, man. He just gets absolutely shredded. Very, very comparable, I would say, even more DPS than something like Outriders. Very impressive. I'm definitely going to be using Razordons more often here. That is going to be a relatively quick victory for the Warriors, for the Lizardmen over the Warriors of Chaos as well. And how about that nice management for the photo finish right on top of those Skinks and Marauders. So very fun stuff. Well played to my opponent there. Yeah, those monster box type battles can involve a lot of RNG, right? You're very much asking the dice rolls to go in your favor when you're relying on those single entity fights like that. But you can stack things, more in your favor, certainly, with spells like Harmonic Convergence, that melee attack and defense buff, obviously helping the Dreadsaurian get up a bunch more chevrons, obviously increases its stats as well. The healing from Mazdamundi and the damage mitigation from Shielding the Old Ones, both going to be very key. And just in general, yeah, again, you want to try, when you're fighting with single entities, you want to try and always fight like 2v1, where you have two single entities fighting, and like if you watch my Bretonnia versus Chaos replay from, what was that, yesterday, again, when you're fighting with those single entities, you want to have your two single entities surrounding your opponent's one single entity, right? You don't necessarily want to have them standing side by side. You want to have them like one on each side, if that makes sense, okay? So yeah, pretty good stuff. Razordons, I'm going to have to mess around with a little bit more, but definitely needs more looking at. I think they're in a pretty decent spot after that last hotfix. And yeah, fun stuff for my opponent's build. It's a little bit tough for Warriors of Chaos to really contest against something like this. There are some various different things you can do. But from my perspective, I like Chosen with shields here quite a bit. Because the Dreadsaurian isn't actually that good at killing infantry, Chosen with shields with their massive melee defense and the fact that they can really just sit and grind for quite a while, especially with armor debuffs, they can actually do okay in this type of a matchup. Granted, I haven't played that type of a build in quite some time, but from what I remember, it certainly could be effective. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this monstrous quick double cast. We're going to be bringing it back with more early access content soon, so sit tight for more. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.